"Oh no, my drawing!" Harper exclaimed, her eyes wide in shock as the steaming cup of coffee toppled onto the white sheet, vibrant ink spreading like an unexpected storm. Beside her, young Liam, sporting a mischievous grin, looked up sheepishly. "I'm sorry, miss. I just wanted to see." His twin sister, little Sophia, quickly tugged at his arm, her voice sweet. "Liam, you messed it up." But Alexander, the man standing behind the two children, simply stood frozen, heart pounding as he realized this was the unexpected moment that would change everything. A pretend blind date for a poor man, one he'd been stood up for, only for fate to send this woman to the wrong table. Before we begin, tell us where you're listening from. Seattle, New York, or somewhere else in the world. And when we finish, don't forget to rate this story from 0 to 10. Let's begin. Raindrops drummed on the window of a small Seattle cafe, the water pounding the awning like urgent beats, carrying faint scents of damp earth and decaying leaves. Alexander sat there feeling disappointed. After losing his wife 6 years ago to complications during the birth of Liam and Sophia, he'd finally tried dating through an app. He'd described himself only as a single dad who loves rainy walks with 2 energetic kids, deliberately playing down his wealth in hopes of finding genuine love. Yet, the woman he'd matched with had just canceled. "Sorry, I can't date a single dad with kids." He sighed, about to gather his children to leave, when the cafe door swung open. A young woman entered, glancing around with a shy smile. Harper. She was searching for a blind date set up by friends. The only clue: table by the window, cozy family atmosphere. Seeing his table fit, she sat down. "Sorry if I'm late. The rain stalled all the traffic. Are you the one?" Alexander blinked, heart racing. He wasn't the one, she meant. But something in that moment made him not want to correct her. Harper smiled, setting down the drawing she'd just finished outside, a street art sketch. When, suddenly, Liam reached out playfully, toppling the coffee cup onto the paper, ink swirling. Alexander bent down quickly, picking up the rolling cup, his hand trembling as he touched the drenched sheet. "I'm so sorry," he said, his voice warm but flustered. "These two are a real handful. Let me get you a new cup." Harper, her curly hair peeking from under a worn knit hat, glanced at him for a moment, then let out a soft chuckle. A warm smile, not annoyed at all. "It's okay. It's just a drawing. But this little guy does have an artistic touch, doesn't he?" She knelt down to Liam's eye level and winked playfully. "Next time, try drawing a superhero instead of spilling coffee, okay?" Alexander sighed in relief, the original tension dissolving a bit with the gentle humor. Liam blushed, hiding his hands behind his back, while Sophia giggled and tugged at his arm. "Liam, you're so clumsy." He settled into the rustic wooden table, the kids squeezed in beside, as a new steaming coffee cup brought with it a bittersweet aroma. Harper sat opposite, her fingers still stained with ink, as if the chaos just now were merely part of a bigger picture. "I'm Harper," she said softly. "And you and your 2 little angels." Alexander smiled, avoiding direct eye contact. "I'm Alex, and these are Liam and Sophia. We're just out for a walk in the rain." He never mentioned his skyscrapers or the luxury car parked far away. In this moment, he was simply a single dad, in an old t-shirt and faded jeans, trying to find a little peace in the Seattle rain. The rain continued its steady rhythm, creating a soothing pause between them. Harper flipped out a new sheet and began sketching rapidly. "So, what would you two like to draw? Superheroes or princesses?" Liam jumped excitedly, voice bright. "Superheroes, with laser beams, boom, boom." Sophia chimed in sweetly. "I want a princess with magic powers." Harper laughed as her hand moved skillfully on paper, colors blending like magic in the golden cafe light. Alexander watched, heart pounding. She didn't ask about work or money, only focused on the kids, making the atmosphere oddly intimate. His hand tightened around his cup, heat seeping into his skin, reminding him of old pain. His wife had died right after giving birth, a sudden complication leaving him alone to raise Liam and Sophia from day one. But today, under this rain, he sensed a flicker of hope. Harper slid her finished drawing over to the kids, her eyes sparkling. "Here you go, a superhero and a princess working together to defeat the rain." Liam cheered, Sophia clapped, and Alexander couldn't help but smile. At that moment, he forgot about his true identity. But then, his phone vibrated gently. A message from his assistant. "Urgent meeting, sir." He quickly silenced it, his heartbeat quickening. Harper looked at him, her voice curious but not pressing. "Are you okay? You look worried about something." Alexander shook his head, managing a wry smile. "It's just work. But today I want to forget all of that." She nodded, understanding, and continued chatting with the kids, their laughter filling the air and overtaking the sound of the storm. Alexander wondered if she sensed he was hiding something. Then, when Harper accidentally brushed his hand while passing the pencil, a jolt shot up his arm. A strange sensation, as if the rain outside were washing away all his pretense. And little did Harper know that first drawing would open a door to much deeper secrets. Harper smiled, pushing the finished drawing toward the two kids. But Alexander still clearly felt the lingering tremor from that unintended touch. A fleeting moment that made it hard for him not to reveal everything. The sound of rain outside the window kept falling steadily, creating a gentle rhythm like background music, while Liam and Sophia jostled to look at the painting. Liam exclaimed, "You drew my superhero exactly like him. He can even fly through the rain." Sophia hugged the drawing tighter, whispering sweetly, "My princess is so beautiful, miss, just like Mommy in the picture." Alexander clenched his hand under the table, his heart tightening. A reminder of his late wife made him recall those long, lonely nights, but he quickly smiled, keeping his tone calm. "Kids, don't bother Miss Harper anymore. We should go now. The rain is getting heavier." Harper shook her head, her eyes sparkling under the warm cafe lights, the smell of coffee mingling with the scent of fresh ink and paper creating an oddly intimate atmosphere. "You're not bothering me at all, Alex. Actually, I really love kids. They make everything more real." She leaned down, lightly touching Sophia's shoulder with a gentle hand, still warm from the pencil stained with ink. "Does your princess have any special powers?" Sophia blushed, her voice shy. "She can make the rain stop, so everyone is happy." Harper laughed heartily, her laughter echoing over the drumming rain, and Alexander was surprised. She didn't ask about him, wasn't curious about his office job pretense, but focused only on the kids, making him feel truly seen for the first time in years. Liam, not to be outdone, chimed in with a mischievous grin. "And my superhero defeats the rain monster. Miss, do you have any superpowers? Like drawing super fast?" Harper pretended to ponder, then winked. Of course, my superpower is turning chaos into art. Like that spilled coffee just now, it's now a beautiful drawing." The kids burst out laughing, their cheerful giggles ringing out, and Alexander couldn't help but laugh along. A finely humorous moment that eased the tension, making him forget the phone vibrating in his pocket. A call from his assistant reminding him of a billion-dollar meeting. He turned it off, deciding to stay a little longer, his breath heavy as his hand touched the cold wooden table. Harper continued drawing, her hand moving deftly, colored ink spreading across the paper like a flow of emotions. "I'm a freelance artist," she said, her voice casual as if confiding in an old friend. "I draw street art and teach kids to draw for free in the park. Life isn't wealthy, but it's fun." "What about you? Why are you out in the rain with two kids today?" Alexander hesitated for a second, then answered smoothly, "I'm just an ordinary office worker doing paperwork. After losing my wife, I like to take the kids out to forget." He paused, a sudden silence making the sound of rain outside even clearer, as if whispering secrets. Harper looked at him, her eyes full of empathy, not probing deeper. "I understand. I lost my mom when I was young too, so art is how I heal. The kids must miss their mother a lot, right?" Sophia nodded, her little hand trembling as she touched the drawing. "Mom is in heaven, but Dad says she liked drawing princesses." Alexander felt his heart pound, his hand clenched tighter under the table. She didn't know he was pretending to be poor, didn't know he was a CEO with $1 million empire. She only saw him as a single father. His breath was heavy, the cafe suddenly warmer, as if the rain outside was sheltering this moment. Harper slid another sheet of paper toward him. "Try drawing, Alex. Maybe you have a hidden talent." He took the pencil, his hand trembling slightly, drawing a clumsy line, and the kids burst out laughing. Another humorous moment, with Liam teasing, "Dad, your drawing is terrible, looks like a monster." But then, as Harper laughed along, Alexander realized this mistaken meeting was drawing him deeper into a picture he'd never imagined. Harper smiled, pushing her newly finished drawing toward Alexander, the colored ink still wet on the paper, blending the scent of fresh paper with traces of coffee lingering in the air. "Your turn to try now, Alex. Don't be shy. Draw anything you like. Just don't spill any more coffee, okay?" Liam and Sophia giggled, the little boy chiming in excitedly, "Dad, draw a superhero." Alexander took the pencil from her hand, his fingers barely brushing her skin. A casual touch that made his heart thump faster, like electricity running through skin cold from the Seattle rain. He sketched a few awkward lines, a simple figure with a crooked smile, and both kids squealed, "Dad, that looks like a cute monster." Harper burst out laughing, her laughter echoing and drowning out the patter of rain on the window, injecting a subtle humor that made the cafe suddenly feel warmer, as if the rain outside was just the backdrop for this vivid scene. Alexander put down the pencil, feeling the warmth from the coffee cup spreading through his palm, the bitter aroma reminding him of lonely, rainy afternoons before. But today was different. Harper didn't ask about his job, wasn't curious about the office life he pretended to have. She focused only on the kids, with a sincerity that made him want to make the moment last longer. "You draw so well," he told her, his voice deep and warm. "It's like magic. How long have you been an artist?" Harper shrugged, her eyes twinkling under the golden light. "Since I was little, I love street art, everyday moments, like this rain, or a child's smile." She paused, and in that short silence the sound of the rain grew clearer, as if whispering secrets. "What about you? Walking in the rain with your kids like this? I guess you also appreciate simple things, right?" Alexander nodded, his heart tightening a bit. She didn't know what he was hiding, didn't know about the skyscrapers he owned just a few blocks away. "Yeah, simplicity is best. After I lost my wife, I learned to treasure moments like these." Harper looked at him, her eyes full of sympathy, her hand accidentally touching Sophia's outstretched one. "I understand. I lost my mom young too, so art became how I healed. The kids must miss their mom a lot, huh?" Sophia nodded, her voice soft. "Mom is in the sky, but Dad says she loved the Seattle rain." Alexander felt a warmth spreading inside him, as if his heavy breathing suddenly lightened. Harper didn't press him. She just listened, making him want to share more. But he held back, gripping his coffee cup to hide it. The rain outside gradually let up, as though Seattle's downpour was making way for a rare patch of sunlight slipping through the gray clouds. Alexander looked up through the window, seeing the last drops fall, the street beginning to dry under the soft light. Harper noticed too, her eyes lighting up. "The rain's stopped. How about we take a walk? I have a small studio nearby if you and the kids don't mind. I could teach them more drawing." Liam shouted, "Yes, I want to draw a flying superhero." Sophia tugged at her dad. "Me too, Daddy." Alexander hesitated for a second, but Harper's smile, bright, genuine, made him nod. "Sure, why not?" They left the cafe, stepping out under the post-rain Seattle sky, the air fresh, the scent of damp earth lingering gently, carrying a sense of new hope. They strolled down Pine Street, the yellow glow of streetlights reflecting on the still wet pavement, the distant sounds of traffic mixing with the rustling of leaves in the breeze. Harper led the way, pointing out murals she had painted. "This one I made for underprivileged kids, dreams that soar high." Alexander watched, sensing the sincerity in her voice. She didn't mention money, just shared her passion as if confiding in an old friend. Liam skipped ahead, hopping through a leftover puddle, making Sophia giggle. "Liam, you jump like a frog." Harper joined the laughter, picking up a dry leaf and handing it to Sophia. "Here, draw a princess with a magic leaf." That moment made Alexander smile, a bit of humor from Liam's mischief easing the tension. But deep inside, an emotion welled up, as if Harper was filling a void he thought would last forever. Harper's studio was at the end of a small street, an old room with a creaky wooden door, the scent of oil paint and paper ink spreading instantly, warmed by a tiny heater. "Come on in. Don't be shy," she said, flicking on the lights. The soft yellow glow illuminated paintings on the walls, from rainy Seattle scenes to portraits of beaming children. Liam and Sophia rushed in, eyes wide. "Wow, so many paintings, Miss Harper." Harper laughed, laying out fresh paper on the gleaming wooden table. "Pick your colors. Let's paint." Alexander stood by the door, his breath heavy as he watched. She didn't ask about him, just focused on the kids, making him feel seen, not as Alexander Thorne, the multimillionaire CEO, but as Alex, a single dad. Harper knelt beside Liam, teaching him to blend colors. "Here, red for superhero laser beams." Sophia sat next to them, drawing a princess with shaky lines. "Miss Harper, can my princess have a superhero friend?" Harper nodded warmly. Of course, they joined forces to beat anything, like the rain outside. Alexander joined in, drawing a simple line, but his eyes suddenly caught an old painting in the corner. A portrait of a woman in the rain, her gentle smile so reminiscent of his late wife. His heart clenched, his breath heavier, his hand trembling as he touched the frame. "This one. It's beautiful. It reminds me of someone." Harper turned, her eyes sparkling. "That's my portrait of my mother, in the Seattle rain. She passed away young, but the rain always reminds me of her. Like fate." Alexander swallowed hard, the sudden silence making the sound of wind outside clearer. And then, rain started again, droplets tapping on the studio roof, syncing with his racing heartbeat. He felt a rising tide of emotion, romantic, deep, like the destined love in Nicholas Sparks' novels, where loss leads to new hope. Harper didn't pry, only smiled. "Art is a way to heal. Try drawing your memory." He nodded, awkwardly sketching his wife, a woman smiling in the rain, and Harper praised him. "That's lovely, Alex. It has soul." That moment drew them closer, his heart quickening, as if that old portrait was a sign from destiny. But then, his phone vibrated in his pocket, the ringtone cutting through the quiet. A call from his assistant, their voice urgent. "Mr. Thorne, the billion-dollar meeting is starting. Stocks are moving fast." Alexander hung up abruptly, his heart pounding, cold sweat beading on his brow. Harper looked at him, her voice curious. Work? Sounds important. He forced a smile, gripping his phone tight. Yeah, boss calling. I have to go. Sorry, Harper. She nodded, her eyes briefly sad. It's okay, I understand. The kids had a lot of fun painting. Come by again next time. Liam and Sophia hugged their drawings, their voices reluctant. Bye, Miss Harper. Alexander scooped both kids up, thanking Harper with a warm smile. Thank you. See you next time, under the Seattle rain. They parted ways, stepping out into the rain, now falling harder again, the drops drumming like a reminder. Their meeting was only the beginning, but his secret still hung over them like raindrops on the window. Alexander stepped out of Harper's studio, hugging Liam and Sophia tightly as the rain began pouring again, the patter of raindrops on the umbrella matching his heartbeat as he struggled to stay calm. He looked back to see Harper standing at the doorway, waving goodbye with a warm smile, the golden studio lights shining like a promise. See you next time, Alex, she called after him, her voice ringing out above the rain. He nodded, his heart pounding. This accidental meeting had left a deep impression, but his assistant's urgent call still haunted him, a reminder of the real world he was hiding from Harper. Liam tugged his father's hand. Ms. Harper is so fun, Dad. Can we come back tomorrow? Sophia chimed in sweetly. I love painting with her. Alexander forced a smile, squeezing their hands. Maybe. But in his mind, anxiety swelled. If Harper knew he was a CEO, would she still be so genuine? They arrived home. A sprawling mansion on the outskirts of Seattle, hidden behind lush green trees, where he could conceal his true identity. The garage door creaked open, and the smell of damp wood from the rain filled the air, bringing with it a familiar loneliness. Alexander took off the kids' wet coats, watching them run into the living room, holding up drawings from Harper, their laughter echoing in the vast but empty space. He sat down on the soft leather sofa, hands trembling as he grabbed his phone. The billion-dollar board meeting had happened without him, but texts from his assistant kept piling up. Boss, the stock's stabilized, but the competition's plotting something. Emergency meeting tomorrow. Alexander sighed heavily, the silence in the house amplifying the sound of rain outside, as if the falling water whispered his worries back to him. He leaned back in his chair, eyes closed. Images of Harper flashed through his mind, her smile in the golden studio light, the way she knelt down to teach Liam how to mix colors, the gentle touch she gave Sophia, reminding him of his wife. His wife, the woman he had loved so deeply, was gone, lost to an unexpected complication after giving birth to their twins, leaving him with 2 children and a multi-million-dollar empire that couldn't fill the emptiness. He opened his eyes, gazing at the family photo on the table, his wife beaming in the Seattle rain, just like one of Harper's old paintings. Is this fate? He whispered, gripping the cold glass picture frame. Suddenly, Liam burst in, holding up his drawing. Look, Dad, I made Ms. Harper a superhero. She's beating the rain. Sophia followed, giggling. I made her a princess. Alexander laughed, a subtle, tiny moment of humor, thanks to his children's creativity. Liam's superpower fast painting made Harper look more like a cute, crazy-haired monster. He cuddled both kids, telling them a bedtime story in a warm, soothing voice. Today was fun, huh? Ms. Harper is very kind. Liam nodded. She's like Mom, Dad. Sophia whispered. I want to see her again. Alexander kissed their foreheads, his heart both warm and heavy. He wanted to see Harper again, but his secret loomed over him. He turned off the kids' bedroom light and stepped onto the balcony, the rain drumming against the roof, mirroring the rhythm of his life. Wealthy, but lonely. He thought of Harper, how she had shared about her mother, about art as healing, and wondered, what would she think if she knew the truth? The next morning, the Seattle sun peeked through the clouds, carrying the scent of fresh grass after the rain. But Alexander was caught up in work. A meeting at the top floor office where he was CEO Alexander Thorne, not just single dad Alex. He sat at the head of the conference table, stock charts filling the display as he spoke coolly. "The competition's manipulating the media. We need to fight back." The assistant nodded. "Yes, sir. But what about you personally? There are rumors about your private life." Alexander clenched his pen, his heart pounding. He hadn't told anyone about Harper, but an uneasy feeling crept in. When the meeting ended, he headed home, but thoughts of Harper lingered. He looked up her studio address on a map, but hesitated. In her small studio, Harper painted a new picture, a man and 2 children in the rain, her brush strokes fluid and emotions flowing with the colors. The sound of yesterday's rain still echoed in her mind, with the scent of oil paint and fresh paper making her smile. Alex, the single dad with the warm smile, had left quite an impression. "He's so genuine," she whispered, her hands trembling as she touched the painting. Suddenly her phone buzzed, a text from friends. "How did the blind date go last night? Did he show up?" Harper chuckled, replying, "It was a mix-up, but still interesting. Maybe it was fate." She put her brush down, and the silence of her studio made the wind outside sound louder, as if it was whispering hope. When Alexander got home, he found Liam and Sophia drawing in the living room, colored paper scattered across the floor, the faint scent of pencils in the air. "Dad, I'm drawing for Ms. Harper." Liam cheered, his messy superhero sketch making Alexander laugh. Another tiny moment of humor. Sophia added, "I'm drawing a princess for her." Sitting down, Alexander hugged them both. "Great job. Tomorrow, let's go to the park together. Maybe we'll see her." But in his mind, a decision had already formed. He would see Harper again, but keep his secret. At least, for now. The following day, under a clear blue Seattle sky after the rain, he took the kids to a park near Pine Street, the scent of fresh grass and blooming flowers filling the air, birdsong drowning out the distant city sounds. Liam ran around, Sophia picked flowers, and then there was Harper, with her easel out on the street, teaching children to paint for free. She looked up, eyes wide. "Alex, Liam, Sophia." The kids shouted with joy and ran to hug her, and Alexander followed, heart pounding. "Hello, Harper. We just happened to be here." Harper smiled, moving her easel. "Is it coincidence or fate? Come paint with us." They sat together, Harper guiding them as her brush danced with color. An intimate moment that made Alexander forget his worries. But then, a photographer accidentally snapped a picture of them. A warm family photo. And Alexander felt a small twist, as though his secret was about to be revealed. He smiled at Harper, but his heart raced. This encounter was pulling him in deeper, and his business rivals might be able to take advantage of it. Alexander smiled at Harper, his heart pounding when he realized that the photographer had secretly snapped. A warm family picture under the Seattle sun, where Liam was hopping along with his superhero drawing, Sophia picking flowers for the teacher, and Harper beaming beside them. He tried to shake off a vague anxiety, squeezing the kids' hands. "What's Ms. Harper painting?" Harper pushed the easel toward them, the watercolor ink spreading on paper under the gentle sunlight, the smell of fresh-cut grass after the rain mixing with a subtle scent of wildflowers. "It's just a view of the park, but now I have 2 little artists helping me." She knelt down, eye level with Liam. "Do you want to add laser beams to the painting?" Liam squealed, voice brimming with excitement. "Yes, my superhero has to fly high." Sophia chimed in sweetly. "Can I add a princess, please?" Harper laughed. her hands moving deftly over the paper, her brushstrokes sketching lively curves like magic in the sunlight. Alexander sat down on the soft grass, feeling the dampness still lingering from last night's rain spread across his palms, gradually relaxing him. The woman wasn't asking about him, just focusing on the kids, making the park feel strangely intimate. Birdsong echoed from the lush green trees, drowning out the distant laughter of children, composing a symphony of everyday life that made him forget about the secret photo. "Do you give free drawing lessons to kids like this often?" he asked in a deep, warm voice. Harper nodded, her eyes sparkling. "Yeah, I like it. Being a freelance artist isn't rich work, but seeing happy kids is enough. When I was a child, losing my mother early, art was how I made it through." Alexander felt his heart clench, his breath heavier at her words. Losing her mother, just like his two kids lost their mother. Complications from having twins leaving him to struggle alone. He watched Liam and Sophia, engrossed in painting, their little hands stained with ink, and whispered, "I understand. I also lost my wife when the kids were born. Sudden complications left me with pain and responsibility." Harper paused, her eyes full of empathy, her hand brushing his as she handed colors to Sophia, a touch that made him tremble, like an electric current running through his skin. "I'm sorry, Alex. That must be so hard. But look at your kids. You're doing great." He nodded, and in the sudden silence, the rustle of wind through the leaves seemed louder, like a whisper of their shared pain. Harper went on, her voice gentle but deep, an emotional flow like a Colleen Hoover novel, torn between loss and hope. "My mother died in an accident when I was 10. I grew up with my dad, but he was always busy, so I hid in art, drawing dreams that hadn't come true. I gave up stability for my passion, lived simply, but I don't regret it. It helped me heal, to find joy in small things." Alexander listened, heart pounding. She didn't know he was wealthy, didn't know his multi-million-dollar empire could change everything. But her words made him feel close, as if his old wounds were starting to heal. "Me too," he said quietly. "After my wife passed, I focused on the kids, work. It's just a way to forget." He paused, not revealing his identity, but the turmoil swelled within. Was it a mistake not to tell her the truth? Liam suddenly jumped in, holding up his drawing. "Teacher, my superhero just beat the sad monster." Harper burst out laughing, her voice ringing in the sunlight, creating a clever, humorous moment. "Great job. But doesn't the sad monster kind of look like your dad?" Alexander laughed along, squeezing Liam's hand. "Did you draw me as the monster?" Sophia giggled, adding her princess, "I'll save Dad with magic." The lightheartedness eased the tension, but Alexander felt it clearly. Emotions were deepening, romance weaving itself into their confessions, like fated love stories torn between past and present. Harper looked at him, her voice soft. "Would you tell me more about your wife, if you don't mind? She must have been wonderful." Alexander sighed, the silence making the wind sound even louder. "She loved Seattle rain, liked painting simple pictures for me. But after giving birth, complications took her away. Since then, I've been alone, trying to be the best dad." Harper gently touched his shoulder, her eyes shining with tears. "You're doing a great job. Just look at your kids." Alexander felt his heart warm, but then, a group of kids ran over, pulling Harper into their circle, children's laughter echoing. He watched from a distance, hand clenched tight, the feel of the soft grass reminding him how fragile this moment was. But as the afternoon sun faded, Alexander realized the photographer's candid photo had been posted online, with a vague caption. "Adorable family at Seattle Park." He checked his phone quickly, his heart pounding, breaking out into a cold sweat. Harper turned back, smiling. "Why do you look so worried?" He forced a smile. "It's nothing, just a message." But in his mind, the twist surged. The photo was spreading and business rivals could use it to plot against him. Harper hugged the kids goodbye. "See you tomorrow, either here or at the studio." Alexander nodded, but as they left the park, the sound of the wind rustling the leaves seemed like a warning. A secret photo had been posted online, and his secret was about to be revealed. Alexander felt a vague surge of anxiety as the candid photo spread. A picture of him, Harper, Liam, and Sophia beaming under the Seattle park sun, now going viral on social media with blazing speed. The caption, "The secret family of CEO Thorne," made his heart pound. He hurriedly turned off his phone, gripped the kids' hands tight as they left the park, the scent of fresh grass after the sun mixed with wildflowers lingering on his shirt. But the air suddenly grew heavy, like the wind whispering warnings through rustling leaves. Harper waved goodbye from afar, her smile still warm. "See you tomorrow, at the studio." He nodded, but in his mind, a media storm was already brewing. That photo was no longer just a memory. It was the spark for schemes he hadn't foreseen. The next morning, Seattle's sunlight streamed through his high-rise office window, carrying the bitter aroma of coffee his assistant handed him. But Alexander had no mind to savor it. He sat at the head of the conference table, stock charts glowing on the screen, his voice cold. "Who posted that photo, and why did it spread so quickly?" The assistant trembled. "Boss, it seems from an anonymous account, but the rival company is pushing it. They're commenting alluding that CEO Thorne is hiding his private life, affecting investor confidence." Alexander clenched his pen, his hand trembling as it touched the polished wooden table, a cold sensation spreading, just like the rising fear. The media exploded. Journalists hounded him. Headlines, "Billionaire CEO has a secret family," spreading everywhere. And he knew this was corporate scheming by the competitors, exploiting the situation to undermine him and shake the company's stock. At her small studio, Harper was painting a new artwork of the park scene from yesterday, her brush gliding skillfully under sunlight streaming through the window, the scent of oil paint blending with fresh paper and ink. She smiled, thinking of Alex, his warm smile and the laughter of the children. But then, her phone buzzed repeatedly with messages from friends. "Harper, you're in the news with CEO Thorne." She opened the link, heart racing. The candid park photo captioned, "Is the street artist the family of a millionaire?" Her finger hovered over the screen, a cold chill from the glass seeping through, shock rushing over her. The media swooped on her, reporters calling, her contract for a community art exhibit canceled. "Sorry, the public pressure is too much. We don't want to be involved in the CEO's scandal." Harper's breaths grew heavy, the silence in her studio amplifying the sounds of traffic outside, as if whispering injustice. Meanwhile, Alexander got news about Harper. She was affected, she lost her contract, and a swell of guilt hit him, making his breathing heavy as he gripped his phone tight. He decided to take action, calling an emergency press conference, standing before microphones under glaring flashlights, his voice echoing. "I am Alexander Thorne, CEO. That photo was a personal moment, but I will protect those involved. Harper is a friend, not a scandal." He went public with his identity, admitting to pretending to be poor, to find genuine love, but deliberately withheld details about Harper to shield her. The media frenzy intensified. Headlines blared, "CEO Thorne admits faking poverty, protects mysterious artist." And the stock price stabilized, but competitors continued plotting, spreading rumors that Harper is exploiting the CEO for fame. Harper watched the press conference on her phone, her heart pounding. Alex was Alexander Thorne, a millionaire CEO. Hands shaking, she touched the painting she'd made of him, the hardened paint under her fingertips. Anger surged through her. "You lied to me," she whispered, the heavy silence in her studio broken only by the first drops of rain tapping at the window, mirroring her chaotic heartbeat. She called him, her voice trembling. "Alex, or Alexander. Why didn't you tell me the truth? I thought you were an ordinary single dad, not a millionaire." Alexander's breath was heavy over the phone. "Harper, I'm sorry. I pretended to find someone genuine. I didn't want money to get in the way. But now the media, I have to protect you and the kids." Harper snapped. "Protect me? Now I've lost my contract and I'm being chased because of you. I don't want money. I just want the truth." She hung up, tears streaming down her face, fist clenching her paintbrush until her knuckles turned white. Alexander felt his heart shatter, gripping his phone in his darkened office, Seattle's streetlights shining through the window carrying the scent of damp rain. He knew he'd been wrong, pretending to be poor to test sincerity. But now he'd harmed Harper. Liam and Sophia ran in. "Daddy, why are you sad? Is Miss Harper mad at you?" He hugged his kids, his voice low. "Daddy, made a mistake, but I'll fix it." Right then, he made up his mind, driving to the studio in the rain, the sound of water splashing under the tires like a frantic rhythm. Harper opened the door, eyes red and swollen. "Why are you here?" "To protect me some more." Alexander came in, drenched. "Harper, please listen. I lost my wife after childbirth. I'm scared of relationships because of money. When I met you, I felt sincerity. Not because of money, but because of the kids and your smile." Harper turned away, her hand trembling as she touched an old painting of her mother, the cold of the wooden frame seeping in. "I'm scared too, Alex. I used to be wealthy. My family had a small company. But after my mother died, I gave it all up to follow art. I hid it because I was afraid of being exploited just like you. But you lied to me." Alexander was shocked, his heart racing. A surprise twist. Harper had once been wealthy but chose a simple life, her secret loss paralleling his own. "Harper, I didn't know. We have more in common than I thought." She turned back, tearful. "In common? But now you've gone public. The media is hunting me. Your rivals are fueling rumors, and I've lost all my contracts." Alexander gripped her hand. "I'll fix it. I'll face my rivals, expose their schemes. Please give me a chance." Harper hesitated. The heavy silence made the sound of rain outside clearer, as if washing away her anger. She nodded. "All right, but you have to be honest. No more secrets." Alexander hugged her, his heart warmed beneath Seattle's rain. But then, his phone vibrated, a message from his assistant. "Boss, the rivals' schemes are exposed, but Harper is being dragged deeper into the scandal." He held her tighter, anxiety rising. Harper's secrets were about to be revealed, and the corporate scheming was turning the tables. Alexander gripped his phone tightly, anxiety rising like the heavy Seattle rain pounding against his office window, the sound of water drumming echoing the sadness enveloping him. The assistant's message kept flashing. "Boss, the rival's scheme has been exposed, but Harper is getting dragged deeper into the scandal. They're rumoring she used the CEO." He sighed heavily, his trembling hand touching the icy wooden desk, the sensation reminding him of holding Harper in the rain, the warmth now fading away like smudged ink on an unfinished painting. He was overwhelmed with guilt, pretending to be poor to find sincerity. But now, it had caused her to lose a contract and be chased by the media, all because of his secret. "I was wrong," he whispered. The silence in the office made the rain sound even clearer, as if whispering reproach. At home, the sprawling villa on the outskirts of Seattle was drenched in rain, the scent of damp earth wafting in through the creaking garage door, bringing that familiar loneliness. Liam and Sophia ran out to greet him, their eyes sad. "Dad, why hasn't Miss Harper called? I drew a picture for her." Alexander hugged the kids, his heart tightening. They were sad because of him, because of a scandal that he had caused. He sat down on the living room floor, the soft carpet beneath his feet, but the sensation did nothing to ease his pain. "She's just busy, kids. But Dad will fix this," Sophia whispered, her sweet voice. "I miss her, like I miss Mom." Liam nodded, holding up his drawing. "I drew a broken family. The superhero can't save the princess." Alexander looked at the drawing, childish lines messy but full of feeling. Liam's superhero with broken wings, Sophia's princess crying in the rain, and tears rolled down his cheeks, his breathing heavy as he remembered his wife passing away when the twins were born, a sudden complication leaving him with everlasting pain. He lay awake that night, the sound of rain drumming on the roof like a torn heartbeat, missing his wife, the woman who loved Seattle rain, who used to paint him simple pictures until she left. "What would you think if I hurt others like this?" he whispered into the void, his hand clenching the pillow, the softness of the fabric a cruel reminder of emptiness. The scandal made him worry the kids would be hurt. The press might chase after them, making them fearful the way he once feared loss. The next morning, under a dreary, drizzling sky, he drove the kids to school, the water splashing under the tires like a warning, his opponents plotting, pushing rumors of CEO Thorne hiding his children with an artist. At her small studio, Harper was struggling with a wave of memories, the pounding rain outside her window echoing the sadness in her heart. She gripped her paintbrush tightly, her trembling strokes blurring on the paper, the watery ink mirroring her chaotic emotions, angry at Alexander for deceiving her, but also tormented by her own secret. "I used to be rich," she whispered, her hand touching an old painting of her mother, the icy wood of the frame spreading the pain of losing her mother early on. Her family once owned a small company, but she gave it all up for art, living simply to avoid being used. The scandal now laid everything bare. Reporters called non-stop. "Ms. Harper, what's your relationship with CEO Thorne? Are you using him to get famous?" She hung up, tears falling. The heavy silence of the studio made the sound of rain even clearer, like it was washing away her hope. Harper sat on the floor, back against the cold wall, breathing heavily as she remembered Alexander. His warm smile, how he listened to her stories about the past. But now it all felt like lies. "He's like me, hiding things to protect," she thought. But anger welled up, losing the contract, being slandered, all because of him. Liam and Sophia appeared in her mind, two sad children drawing a broken family, and her heart softened. "I can't stay mad at the kids." She picked up her phone, hesitating to call him, but put it down again, her heart racing, an inner conflict tearing her apart, like a Colleen Hoover novel, torn between old wounds and new hope. Back at the office, Alexander decided to call Harper to apologize, his heart pounding as he dialed. But he misdialed and accidentally called a local pizza shop. A voice answered, "Seattle Pizza. What would you like to order?" Alexander blushed, flustered. Sorry, wrong number." He hung up, letting out a gentle laugh, a subtle, humorous moment to ease the tension. But then the anxiety crept back in. He called the right number this time, his voice trembling. "Harper, please listen to me. I'm sorry, but I will fix this. I'll face our rivals and expose their scheme." Harper sighed on the phone. "Alex, I'm struggling. I have secrets too. I used to be wealthy. Gave it up for art. Now the scandal scares me." Alexander was shocked, his voice deep. "Harper, we're alike. Let's meet and talk things through." They met in the park under drizzling rain, the sound of raindrops on the leaves echoing their sorrow, the scent of damp earth filling the air. Harper stood there, her coat drenched. "You know, losing my mother made me afraid of connection. Now you deceived me, and I'm scared of being hurt again." Alexander touched her hand, the warmth of her skin spreading. "I'm afraid too. Lost my wife during childbirth, scared for the kids. But meeting you gave me hope. The scandal is our rival's scheme, and I'll turn the tables." Harper looked at him, tears falling. "Turn the tables? They're spreading rumors that I used you." Alexander squeezed her hand. "I have proof. They bribed the photographer. I'll expose them and protect you." At home with the nanny, Liam and Sophia were drawing a broken family picture. The superhero with broken wings, the princess crying in the rain, and Sophia whispered, "I miss Miss Harper." Liam nodded. "Will Dad bring her back?" Alexander got home and saw the drawing, his heart tight. The kids were sad because of him, and he made a decision. "I will fix this." He called his assistant. "Gather evidence of our rivals' schemes, expose everything." But then, a message from Harper. "I need time, Alex. Please don't call anymore." He sighed heavily, the sound of rain outside reflecting his pain, an inner conflict tearing at him, missing his wife, worried for the kids, and holding out hope for Harper. Harper returned to her studio, painting a picture of Alexander in the rain, her brush trembling, the watery ink like her emotions, angry, yet longing. She thought about her past, giving up wealth to live simply and heal. But the scandal now made everything chaotic. "Should I forgive?" she whispered, her hand gripping the brush, the hard wood reminding her of her strength. The heavy silence, the sound of rain drumming like a torn heartbeat. Then a call from a friend. "Harper, Thorne's rivals have been exposed. They bought photos to take him down." Harper was shocked, her heart pounding. Alexander was gaining the upper hand, but her own secret might soon be revealed. Harper was in deep shock, her heart pounding as she read the message from her friends. The sound of raindrops tapping against the studio door echoed her chaotic heartbeat. Alexander's rival's scheme had been exposed. They had bribed a photographer to fuel a scandal. But now Harper's own past secrets were about to be revealed, like spilled ink on an unfinished canvas. She gripped her phone tightly, her trembling hand touching the old painting frame of her mother, the icy sensation from the wood spreading like a wave of rising fear. "I need to see him," she whispered, breath heavy, while the heavy silence in the studio made the rain seem even louder, as if urging her to act. Harper donned her coat and stepped into the Seattle rain, the scent of wet earth enveloping her, carrying her determination to mend the cracks. Alexander at his suburban villa was hugging Liam and Sophia as they looked at a drawing titled "Broken Family." The messy, childish lines made him smile softly, an elegantly humorous moment as Liam pointed to a superhero with a broken wing. "I drew Daddy like this because Daddy is sad about Miss Harper," Sophia chimed in. "I drew the princess saving Daddy." He pulled the children into his arms, his voice warm and deep. "Daddy will save our family." Suddenly his phone vibrated, a message from his assistant. "Sir, the rival admitted to the scheme. Stocks have stabilized, but rumors about Harper. They're digging up her past." Alexander shot up, heart pounding. Harper, who had once been wealthy and gave it all up, was being dragged into this, and guilt washed over him like the rains pounding outside. He drove to Harper's studio in the rain, the sound of water splashing beneath his tires a frantic rhythm, the damp scent of rain flooding through the window. When he arrived, he knocked on the creaky wooden door, breathing heavily as Harper appeared, eyes red. "Alex, what are you doing here? Isn't the scandal enough?" Alexander entered, rain-soaked. "Harper, listen. I know about the rival. They've been exposed. I've won. but I'm sorry you got dragged into this." Harper turned away, gripping her paintbrush tightly. "One? Now they're digging up my past. I used to be rich, gave it all up for art after losing my mother. I kept it secret to live simply. And now they say, I'm using you." Alexander gently touched her shoulder, the warmth of his skin spreading. "Harper, I hid things too out of fear. My wife died giving birth. I worried the kids would be exploited. We're the same, choosing healing over wealth." Harper turned back, tears streaming, her voice trembling. "The same? But you lied to me from the start. I'm afraid of attachment, of losing again like I lost my mother. The accident took her away, leaving me with only unfinished paintings." Alexander pulled her to sit on the old wooden bench, the smell of oil paint blending with the rain's scent from the open window, creating a gentle pause. "I'm sorry, Harper. I pretended to be poor to find sincerity. After my wife died, every relationship was about money. Meeting you, I found hope. You listened. You painted with the kids, never asked about money. That's the healing I needed." Harper sighed, the quiet making the rain sound even louder. "Me too. After my mom died, I left the family business, chose art for healing, painting dreams, teaching kids for free. But now with this scandal, I'm scared of losing it all." Alexander took her hand, his fingers tightening gently, the warmth making both of them shiver. "You haven't lost anything. I'll protect you. I'll publicly provide evidence of the rival's scheme and prove your innocence. But more importantly, I want us to be honest. No more secrets." Harper looked at him, her eyes shining. "Honest? I have an anonymous charity fund for poor children to learn art, funded by my hidden inheritance. I was afraid of being used, so I never told anyone. Now you know." Alexander was shocked, then smiled warmly. "Harper, you're wonderful. I have a similar fund for orphans who lost their parents. We must be meant to be." Harper laughed softly, her tears stopping. "Meant to be? Or just two secret keepers who found each other?" That moment made the studio feel warmer, the rain outside now a gentle soundtrack for forgiveness. Alexander pulled her closer. "Forgive me, please. Let's heal. Each other. And the kids." Harper nodded, her voice soft. "Okay, Alex, but slowly, I need time." He hugged her, his heart beating fast, romance swelling like a love story, their first kiss in the rain through the open window, his lips lightly touching hers, the sweetness spreading like merging paints. The patter of rain drowned out the sound of their hearts, and their thoughts turned to the children, a reminder that their family was healing. Alexander woke up the next morning, Seattle's sunlight peeking through the villa window, carrying the scent of fresh grass after last night's rain. But he felt a vague anxiety rising as he opened his laptop. A mysterious email from an internal source. Subject: Harper's charity secrets about to be exposed. Rivals flip the script. He clenched his mouse, hand trembling as he read. Harper's anonymous fund has been hacked. Opponents spread rumors she's using Thorne to cover up her old finances. A scandal is on the verge of exploding. He breathed heavily, the silence in the bedroom making the birdsong outside ring out even clearer, as if whispering a warning. The corporate scheming wasn't over, and Harper's secret now felt like a ticking time bomb. He immediately called his assistant, voice urgent. "Gather evidence. Rivals hacked Harper's fund. We need to stop this before it's exposed." The assistant replied, "Yes, sir. Tracking now. But they're moving fast, pushing rumors on hidden forums." Alexander closed his laptop, heart pounding. He had to protect Harper, because she had forgiven, because the family was healing. He drove straight to the studio, tires rolling on the damp road with a determined rhythm, as the lingering scent of rain spread in the air. Harper opened the door, her eyes sparkling as she saw him. "Alex, you're here so early?" He hugged her, voice low. Harper, I've got bad news. Your anonymous charity fund is threatened. Our rivals are exposing it to take me down. Harper was shocked. Her trembling hand touched an unfinished painting. How did they know? I hid it so well. Now it's all lost. Alexander squeezed her hand. It's not lost. We'll face this together. Let's build Art Haven, an art program for underprivileged children in Seattle. Use your fund and mine. Take it public, and turn the scandal into our strength. Harper hesitated, but her eyes lit up. Art Haven? That's a great idea. Teaching kids to paint for free, healing them like we did. They sat at the old wooden table, the smell of oil paint blending with freshly brewed coffee, creating an atmosphere of hope. Alexander outlined the plan. I'll sponsor the space. You lead the arts. Liam and Sophia will be our first participants. The kids need healing, painting about their mom to help them move on. Harper nodded, her pen gliding across the paper. Yes, poor kids in Seattle don't have enough opportunities. We'll give them dreams. They worked through the morning, laughter ringing out as they sketched the designs. A warm, romantic moment, weaving in like a love story. Alexander touched her hand. You're incredible, Harper. Art Haven will be our genuine legacy. Liam and Sophia were brought over, their eyes wide seeing the studio. Miss Harper, can we paint Art Haven? Harper knelt down, guiding them. Yes, draw your dreams. Liam drew a superhero flying through the rain. Sophia drew a magical princess bringing healing. A moment of family healing. Alexander watched, his heart warmed like sunshine after rain. The two children beamed. Miss, Art Haven is our new home. Harper hugged them, tears glittering. And mine too. Alexander joined in, painting a shared picture, a superhero, a princess, and a family under Seattle's sunlight. Emotions as deep as in a Jodi Picoult novel, choosing between loss and hope. And then, unexpected joy burst in. A call from the assistant, voice excited. Boss, we have evidence the rivals hacked Harper's fund. They've been completely exposed. The media is now blaming them. Alexander shouted for joy, hugging Harper. We did it. Scandal's over. Art Haven will shine. Press headlines exploded. CEO Thorne and artist Harper launch Art Haven, outsmart rivals' schemes. Stock soared. The charity became safe. Harper kissed him. Thank you, Alex. This is a new beginning. The kids cheered, laughter ringing louder than the rain outside. As a reminder, the family was growing stronger. Harper looked out the window where the rain had stopped, sunlight shining through. But then, an anonymous message popped up. Your studio is under threat of destruction. She gripped Alexander's hand tightly, anxiety rising. The next climax was lurking ahead. Harper looked out the studio window, where the rain had stopped and sunshine burst through. But then, an anonymous message flashed on her phone. Your studio is being threatened with destruction. Your rival hasn't given up. She squeezed Alexander's hand, anxiety rising like a sudden cold wind carrying the scent of damp earth lingering after a Seattle rain. Alex, this message. They want to destroy everything. Alexander read it, his heart pounding, his hand trembling as it touched the screen, the chill of the glass spreading like the fear that was suddenly upon them. They've turned the tables, but I won't let it happen. Art Haven is our future. I'll protect it. Harper breathed heavily, the heavy silence in the studio making the street noises outside seem louder, as if urging action. But this studio is everything to me. It's where I healed after losing my mom, where I hide the charity fund. If I lose it, what will happen to Art Haven? Alexander pulled her to sit down, his voice warm but firm. We face this together. I'll call security, trace the message. Our rivals failed last time, now they're desperate. He called his assistant, his voice urgent. "Monitor Harper's studio, post guards, trace the anonymous message." The assistant replied, "Yes, sir, working on it. But they could move fast. Stock prices are fluctuating due to new rumors." Alexander hung up, squeezing Harper's hand tightly. "You're safe here. I'm going to meet our rival and end this scheme." Harper shook her head, eyes glistening with tears. "No, don't go alone. We go together. Art Haven belongs to both of us. I won't let it go." Alexander looked at her, his heart warming like sunshine after the rain. "You're really strong. But the kids, I worry." Liam and Sophia, at home with the nanny, were drawing childish scribbles all over paper, the scent of pencil filling the spacious living room. Liam exclaimed, "I'm drawing a superhero to save Ms. Harper's studio." Sophia chimed in, her sweet voice saying, "And I'll draw a magical princess to protect it." The two giggled, Liam's superhero, looking as messy as a monster, making Sophia burst out laughing. A subtle, humorous moment easing their tension, though Alexander, calling in from the studio, felt his heart constrict when he heard their voices. "Daddy, I'll save Ms. Harper with my superhero drawing." He chuckled warmly. "That's great, kids. I'll bring it to her." But the anxiety came rushing back. The studio was threatened, and the children, so innocent, had no idea of the lurking danger. Harper and Alexander drove to the location flagged by security. A tense moment under the gray Seattle sky, leaves rustling in the wind like whispered warnings. Arriving at the studio, they found signs of vandalism. Broken windows, paint splattered on the walls, the strong smell of fresh paint hanging in the air like a tangible threat. Harper, trembling, touched an old painting of her mother, the ink smudged by rain leaking in. Did they do this for a scheme? Alexander squeezed her hand. "Yes, but security caught the vandal. It's linked to our rival. I'll sue them. End this for good." Harper sighed, tears rolling down. "But the studio, my place of healing, it's ruined." Alexander hugged her. "We'll rebuild, stronger than ever. Art Haven will be a testament to resilience." They cleaned up under the faint evening sun, the smell of old paint mingling with the scent of flowers from the nearby park, creating an air of hope. Alexander called the repair crew. "Fix it urgently. Let's make this the first Art Haven center." Harper joined in, her brush gliding over the new wall. "I'm drawing a symbol, a superhero and a princess joining forces." Liam and Sophia were brought over, their eyes wide at the chaos. "Miss, did a monster wreck the studio?" Harper laughed, kneeling down. "Yes, but we'll save it together, okay?" Liam offered his drawing. "I'll save it with my superhero." Sophia added, "And my magical princess." Alexander laughed, hugging the kids, a humorous moment as Liam's messy superhero drawing lightened everyone's mood, like a funny monster beating away fear. Together, they painted the wall, Liam adding red for the laser beams, Sophia some pink for magic, Harper guiding them, Alexander clumsily joining in. Laughter echoed, drowning out the sounds of repairs outside, the scent of fresh paint spreading like new hope. Harper whispered to him, "Thank you, Alex. Your strength gives me courage." He kissed her forehead. "And you give me hope to heal our family." The kids cheered. "Art Haven is awesome." Alexander felt his heart warmed, and then a call from the assistant. "Sir, the rival has surrendered. Their scheme completely failed. Art Haven is safe." He cheered, hugging everyone. "We've won." Alexander felt his heart warm as he hugged everyone tightly in the newly renovated studio. Laughter echoed throughout the small space, the scent of fresh paint mingling with the earthy smell after Seattle rain, creating a fresh atmosphere of hope, as if the cracks from the scandal had been filled with vibrant colors. He looked at Harper, her eyes sparkling in the late afternoon sunlight filtering through the window, and whispered, "Harper, we did it. Art Haven isn't just a project. It's the beginning of our future. Harper smiled, squeezing his hand, her soft fingers touching his skin, sending a warm sensation that made his heart beat faster. Alex, you're the one who's brought hope back to me. You are the most beautiful art I've ever painted. A picture full of colors and resilience. Alexander chuckled softly, his voice warm. And you're my inspiration, Harper. You've colored my gray life after so much loss. Liam and Sophia bounced into the space, cheering joyfully. Dad and Miss Harper are real superheroes. Liam jumped up, waving a messy superhero drawing. My superhero has saved the studio now. Sophia giggled, her voice sweet. And my princess uses magic to make everyone happy. Alexander hugged them both, overwhelmed by emotions like those in a romantic novel, torn between his painful past. His wife passed away due to unexpected complications after giving birth to twins, and the hopeful future with Harper, the woman who entered his life like a gentle Seattle rain, washing away the pain. He kissed both children on the forehead, his voice full of affection. You two are Daddy's miracles, and now with Miss Harper, our family is becoming complete. They continued to build Art Haven, a street art center for underprivileged children in Seattle, where kids from the slums gathered, pencils in hand, their laughter echoing under the warm sun, drowning out the distant traffic from Pine Street. Alexander cut back on his CEO work, spent more time with his family, and attended public press conferences, his voice resonating through the microphone under flashing lights. Art Haven isn't just an art project. It's our way of healing, from loss to hope. After the scandal, we chose resilience to bring dreams to disadvantaged children. Reporters applauded, but Alexander only thought of Harper, who was leading the first art class in the studio, her brush moving skillfully on the large paper. Draw your dreams, superheroes or princesses, anything you like, as long as it's from your heart. Liam and Sophia joined excitedly, sitting among the poor children, their hands smudged with ink, the scent of fresh paper filling the lively air. Liam mixed vibrant red. I'm drawing a superhero flying through the rain, saving everyone just like Daddy saved the studio. Sophia added gentle pink strokes. I draw a magical princess, like my mom in heaven and Miss Harper here. Harper knelt beside Sophia, her eyes watery at Sophia's words. Can I call you Mom? I miss my mom, but you make me happy. Harper hugged the little girl tightly, voice trembling. Of course, sweetheart. I'll be your new mom. We'll heal together and paint beautiful pictures of your mom. Alexander watched from afar, his heart pounding, breath heavy with memories of his wife. A birth complication took her away, leaving him with pain. But now Harper was filling those gaps, adding color to the canvas of his life. Harper whispered to him under the slanting rays passing through the park's trees, where Art Haven was expanding classes outdoors, the scent of wildflowers mingling with fresh grass. Alex, you're the most beautiful art I've ever painted. A canvas full of life and love. Alexander pulled her closer, kissed her softly, the sweet sensation spreading like an electric current. And you're my color, Harper. You've brought hope back, helping me and the kids overcome our loss. United again, they built a future. Art Haven flourished, disadvantaged kids found dreams through art, and the scandal faded like clouds after rain. Liam cheered upon finishing his family portrait. We're invincible, Dad. Superheroes and princesses forever. Sophia giggled, adding the final stroke. Just like our family, with a new mom and a hero dad. Alexander thought to himself, heart full. This great hope is the dream we've painted together. They held the first art class for the kids, laughter ringing out, the scent of art supplies filling the air. Harper guided each stroke. Paint your hopes, overcoming hardship as we did. A poor boy whispered, I'll paint a family, like you two have." Alexander joined in, drawing clumsily but with lots of love, and Liam teased him good-naturedly. "Dad's drawing is so bad, he's like a funny monster." Everyone laughed, easing the tension. But deep down, Alexander felt healing taking place. The pain from losing his wife no longer so heavy, and the future with Harper and the kids was shining bright. Art Haven expanded, gaining community funding, more children arriving, painting colorful dreams. Harper and Alexander led together hand in hand, sharing their message. "From loss, we found hope. You can too." Liam and Sophia became little artists, painting their mom as an angel, bringing healing to their family. Alexander reduced his work further, focusing on Art Haven, gathering with family under the Seattle sun, the scent of flowers wafting like a blessing. Harper whispered to him on a peaceful afternoon, "Alex, I love you. You helped me get over my past, leave my wealth behind to find something true." Alexander kissed her. "And I love you, Harper. You're the miracle for me and the kids." Their reunion was complete, building a solid future. Art Haven became not just an art center, but a symbol of resilience, a place where disadvantaged children found their dreams, and the scandal became a lesson. Liam and Sophia cheered. "Our family is awesome." Alexander thought, "This is the happy ending we deserve." And then, one final surprise, a community invitation. Art Haven is expanding. The poor children are waiting. Harper looked out the studio window, where the Seattle afternoon sun streamed through lush green leaves, carrying with it the faint scent of wildflowers mixed with the earthy smell lingering after a brief rain. When suddenly, an unexpected invitation from the community flashed on her phone. Art Haven is expanding. Underprivileged children in the suburbs are waiting for their very first art class. She squeezed Alexander's hand, excitement swelling inside her like a warm river flowing through her heart. Her hand trembled as she touched the screen, the chill of the glass spreading like a reminder of the journey they had overcome. "Alex, this invitation. It's the surprise we need. Art Haven will become even greater." Alexander smiled warmly and pulled her close, his deep voice resounding in their little studio. "Yes, my love. This is the big dream we're painting together. To heal children, just like we've healed each other." Liam and Sophia cheered from the corner, dashing over with a new picture. "Dad, Miss Harper, we drew Art Haven expanding, superheroes flying everywhere." Harper knelt down, hugged the kids, and their laughter drowned out even the rustling wind outside, like a soundtrack for burgeoning happiness. They decided to accept the invitation right away, driving to the outskirts of Seattle under the soft afternoon sunlight. The car wheels rolling on dry pavement to an upbeat rhythm, the scent of fresh grass and wildflowers wafting through the open windows. That suburb, where underprivileged children gathered in an old park, amidst gray concrete walls and a rusty playground, became the new center for Art Haven. Harper stepped out with paint buckets and drawing paper, her eyes shining as she saw the waiting children. "Are you ready to draw your dreams?" A little boy, maybe 7 years old, hesitated. "But I don't have money for drawing pens, miss." Harper knelt and handed him a pen. "You don't need money, dear. Art Haven is free. Just draw from your heart." Alexander stood beside her, his heart pounding as he watched Liam and Sophia run to play with the other kids, enthusiastically mixing colors. "We'll teach our friends to draw superheroes beating poverty." Sophia chimed in, "And magic princesses bringing happiness." The class began, the sound of pens scratching on paper echoing under the sunlight, the scent of fresh paint spreading like growing hope. Harper guided each stroke gently. "Draw your family. Even through loss, there's always hope." A shy girl shared, "I lost my dad, but I'm drawing him as an angel." Harper hugged her, tears streaming down. I understand. I lost my mother too. But drawing helped me heal. You'll feel that way too. Alexander joined in, clumsily sketching a family portrait under the Seattle rain, his lines trembling in memory of his wife, the woman who passed away after giving birth to twins due to unexpected complications, leaving him with pain that Harper has now filled with color. Liam teased him. Dad, your drawing is so funny, like a cheerful monster. Everyone burst out laughing, a subtly humorous moment easing the tension, and Sophia added, But I love it, Daddy. You're my superhero. Alexander hugged his kids, his heart warm. And you two are my miracles. The class ended amidst cheers and colorful paintings. The smell of drying paint filled the air under the afternoon sun, bringing simple joy. Harper whispered to Alexander, I see it now. Art Haven isn't just about art, but healing, like how I healed after losing my mom, leaving behind wealth to find sincerity. Alexander squeezed her hand. And me, after losing my wife, the twin birth complications took her. But you brought back hope. We are destined for each other, Harper. They stood there, under the Seattle sun, wind rustling through the leaves like a blessing, emotions surging like a tender love, torn between past and future. Harper gently touched his lips, the sweetness spreading like electricity, making his heart pound harder than ever. That evening, back at their villa, Alexander prepared a surprise, a painting he had worked on all night, the brush strokes clumsy but full of love. A family beneath the Seattle rain, with Harper, Liam, Sophia, and the figure of his wife as an angel watching over from above. He hid it in the room, his heart racing as Harper entered, the scent of fresh flowers from the bouquet he placed on the table drifting through the air. Harper, I have something to say. She smiled, her eyes sparkling. What is it, my love? He knelt and revealed the painting. You healed me, the kids, and so many children through Art Haven. You're the most beautiful work of art I've ever seen. Harper, will you marry me? Tears rolled down Harper's cheeks as she embraced the painting. Yes, Alex, I love you. Let's paint the future together. Liam and Sophia ran in, cheering, Mom, Harper, now we have a new mom. Harper hugged them both, their laughter echoing and the scent of paper and ink from the painting spreading like hope. A month later, Alexander and Harper had a simple wedding at Art Haven, beneath the Seattle sunlight, with children painting pictures of blessings and the fragrance of wildflowers in the air. They expanded Art Haven, bringing art to underprivileged children across the city, healing their families and many others. Liam drew a soaring superhero. Sophia drew a happy princess, and Harper whispered, This big dream, it's ours. Alexander embraced her. And our resilience brought us here, from loss to happiness. Alexander and Harper's story comes to a close, not just a happy ending, but a flame kindling faith in love and strength. Applause from the children rang out at Art Haven. Harper smiled in the sunlight, her heart lighter, as if a burden had been lifted. If this journey made you smile, touched you, brought tears to your eyes, or made you believe that all challenges can be overcome, leave your reflections in the comments, hit like, share, and subscribe to True Millionaire Moments. Share with us any simple family memories that have made you more optimistic in life, so we can spread more happiness and beautiful memories. You all are always our motivation to grow every day. Thank you.